All right. Well, foodie hi and welcome everyone. This is Anna, the Keto Foodie here. And ooh, hold on. No, let's mute that. And welcome to a Sunday live chat. Or at least I'm live. And answering any questions that you might have. And once again, it is a double chat. So we've got Facebook over here and we've got YouTube over there. So welcome and welcome. And the reason why I wanted to chat today was to talk about nutrition labels. Um, they are such an important part of keto in general because, of course, they enable you to make the right choices, especially when it's a food that is somewhat processed. We want to stay away from processed foods, but it happens. So today's chat is going to be about looking at nutrition labels and really maneuvering around, because there's two kind of parts to it. There's a main part where you're just looking at the macronutrients, so how many carbohydrates, how many grams protein, and how many grams of fat there are per serving. And then as well, and of course paying attention to what constitutes a serving. And then the second part is really looking beyond just the macros and looking at specifically the ingredients that are included, because I'll tell you, the more that I look at the ingredients in nutrition labels, the more shocked, the more shocked I am, and the more, oh, almost terrified I am. Yes, and we're already getting into the chat. So hi, Anna. And yes, I was going to ask about labels. Misleading when it says 2 or 3 grams of sugar, then you turn it over to see 20 plus carbs. I just go to the label, but that is misleading. Yes, exactly. And that is the whole point of this chat today. So the whole point of let's put it this way, when you go shopping, right, what we tend to do is we go and we shop by the front of the box or the tin or the package, right? We look at what's on the front, what's being shown to us, what's being told, and we're making our decisions based off of the front of the package. And I'm here to say, actually, whether you're following keto or not, it is time to start shopping by the nutrition label. And the reason for that is that some of the ingredients that are included in some of the nutrition information that's included is an eye opener and can make your jaw drop. I mean, we just experienced this weekend, and not just because we were like, what? But because we realized we were looking at the nutrition label completely incorrectly. Not just incorrectly, AD, and not just completely incorrectly, but it was because the nutrition labels were different. Some nutrition labels will give you some information and others give you others. So it is completely mind-boggling. So we're here to talk about how to get around that and how to really start looking at nutrition labels. So of course, the first thing is that when you pick up a package or and look at the nutrition label, the first thing that you want to really look at is the serving size. Now, there's a difference between the US and the UK. With the UK, and I really, really like this, is that most everything that we get, there is a set of nutrition for a serving size, but it's pretty standard. It's a serving size of 100 grams of whatever you're getting. Now, if you normally don't eat 100 grams of that item, it will also give you, this is the nutrition information for a serving of 30 grams. But everything is measured in 100 grams. In the US, it's quite different. It can be anything from an ounce or an ounce and a half or a teaspoon or a tablespoon or a quarter of a cookie. And that is extremely misleading. So, a quarter of a cup, And then we all know, don't we? We all know that the serving size in the US, honestly, what are they trying to feed mice? Because they're not feeding people. And that is the first thing that would start to get me a bit angry, because when you have a serving size that it's about that big of something, I, as an adult, wouldn't expect to be eating just that, especially when the package is, 3 to 5 times the size. So it's really important to understand what they're talking about as far as what is a serving of whatever it is that you're getting. Because especially when you're grabbing food on the go and serving size is 1/5 of the bag, and you have a bag that's about this big and you're hungry, you're going to eat the whole thing. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you for switching from one to the next. And we've got more people over on YouTube. So yay, YouTube party, but we still got our Facebook stuff going on. So that really is the first thing that you should look at, of course, is the nutrition, the serving size. The next thing then you want to do is, of course, look at the carbohydrate, how many grams of carbohydrates, how many grams of protein, and how many grams of fat there are per serving. And, that's usually how most people work when it comes to keto, because what you get a lot of people doing, especially if they're doing dirty keto, or as I like to call it, low carb, high fat, then it's kind of like, as long as it fits my macros, then, I'll eat it and I don't have to worry about the ingredients. And that's fine for a lot of people. So when you're looking at the nutritional label, again, you're looking at the carbs. So if you have a package that is 3 grams of carbs per serving, and serving is 1/3 of the package, then you know that if you're eating the whole package, you're going to have 9 grams of carbs. And then the same thing happens for the protein and the fat. And that really is that's the easy part. That is absolutely the easy part. But again, the issue here is with the servings, and you really have to be careful. Just yesterday, we went, well, my husband, I didn't go, I was here, was here. So he went to get, because we wanted gravy. And over here in the UK, gravy granules or gravy powders is the way to go, right? You've got, your gravy granules that are store brand, and you have gravy granules that are name brands. And he called me from the shop and he was like, you would not believe the difference in carbs between the store brand and the name brand. And it was something wild, like, 3 grams per 100 for the store brand, and 61 grams per 100 grams of it for the name brand. And we were like, what? So of course he came back with the store brand. The store brand. But then we started looking at the nutrition labels. And here is the thing. One nutrition label talks about, this is the amount of carbs that you get if you have 100 grams of these gravy granules without preparing them with water, right? But you only need a tablespoon to prepare with water. So it's like this whole other set of nutritional facts if you've got them prepared with water, because you're only using 1 tablespoon rather than 100 grams of these gravy granules. But the thing is, the store-bought brand never mentioned how many carbs there are in 100 grams of just dry granules, while the name brand did. Now, to a person who doesn't realize that's what's happening, that they've left off a whole set of nutrition information, you're going to be looking at this going, hold on, this one is 3 and this one is 62. So I'm going to go with this one. But you don't realize, because they left off all of the information about what happens when you've got 100 grams of dry granules, and they just go like this, and they just pour it on, because the labels say, well, you only have 3 grams. Well, we finally figured out that if we go by prepared, by how much we have prepared, so half a pint plus a tablespoon of gravy granules will get you, you know, a half a pint of gravy, and then 100 grams of that will give you this many carbs. We finally figured it out after over an hour of talking, and we realized that the brand name had 4 grams of carbs per serving. Meanwhile, the store brand had 3 grams. So the store brand was still less. But again, we were we were looking at 2 different metrics for the same item, just 2 different brands, because one brand completely left off a set of nutrition values. So really, when you're shopping, and it's going to take you a bit longer to really go and start shopping and get used to looking at the labels. So get used to spending more time shopping, but really grab the item, look at it, look at the nutrition label, look at the carbs, look at the protein, look at the fat, and look at the serving size, and compare them to something else. And you'll start getting really, really good at doing it very quickly. So that's part 1. Then you've got part 2, and that's looking at the actual ingredient list. So when you are looking and you are comparing, let's say, 2 different cans of chopped tomatoes, and you'll see sometimes you'll have one can that has a higher amount of carbs than the other one. Well, why might that be? They're both chopped tomatoes. So why would you have very different nutritional information as far as carbs go? That's when you start looking, or one is lower, and that's when you start looking at the ingredients. As you start going through the ingredients, the things that you want to really take a look at and make note of are things like sugars, things like flours made from grain, things like nitrates, ammonia, and really start thinking, how is this really impacting what I have? So if I've got 2 tins of chopped tomatoes, one of them has 6 grams of carbs per serving, the other one has 3, and you're looking at them and you realize, well, this brand adds sugar because sugar is listed as part of the ingredients. This one, if you're looking through them, doesn't have sugar. That's probably why it has less carbs. So when you're looking at the ingredients, look for the hidden sugars. So, and not just regular sugar, sweeteners that are going to increase your insulin resistance, or your insulin, not insulin resistance, sugars and sweeteners that are going to increase your insulin. They come with a lot of names, a lot of funky names that if you don't know that they're sugar or sweeteners that will increase your insulin, you won't realize that's what you're buying. So when you're looking at the ingredients, things to avoid are things like maltodextrin, maltitol, which is actually toxic for you, dextrose, things like, you have mayo on keto, which is fine if you're making it yourself because you're making it with olive oil. But when you go out and buy mayonnaise and you turn that bottle around and look at the ingredients, you'll notice that they are making this mayonnaise with soybean oil or sunflower oil, oils made from seeds, oils that need to be processed, oils that are not keto friendly and cause inflammation in the body. So it's very important to turn that bottle around, look at the nutritional labels, look at the list of ingredients, and go, what is really in this package? And if you are trying to stay away from things like canola oil, soybean oil, um, vegetable oils, sunflower oils, and you've got a product that has them in it, well, it's pretty much like, you're eating them. So it may hinder your weight loss. So I'm going to link down below a list. It's a website that has a list of all of the different names of sweeteners that will raise your insulin level. And they have all of these different names that appear in the ingredients. So don't be fooled if you see this name. If you see this name again, like maltodextrin or dextrose, that is a sugar. That is that is a sweetener that will increase your insulin. So be very aware. Be very aware with things like palm oil. Also anything that blah 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 nitrates. Nitrates, of course, are usually there to preserve the meat. Therefore, it is highly processed, or there to preserve the food, which then means this food is highly processed. So be careful. So what do you do when you want bacon? My suggestion would be go to a butcher. They are less likely to have something that is already packaged and processed, and you will be able to have some nice fresh bacon without the nitrates and without the ammonia going into your body. I had a comment here. At home, I am better, more protein or veggie. I don't take fake sweeteners. I don't like fake sweeteners in general. Might grow stevia this year because I don't like store drops. And that's true. And, for some people, sweeteners like stevia or erythritol or sucralose work just fine with keto. Hiya, I thought. And then, so for some people, they can handle sweeteners because it's very, it might just be for their coffee, but in general, they don't have too many sweeteners. For other people, even sweeteners will stall their weight loss. And so you need to just keep an eye out on what your weight loss is. And if you're finding that you're very slow in losing, or it's not going how you want it to go, you might want to check and see just how much sweetener you are using during the day. Where possible, leave the sweetener out, because again, the other thing is, yes, it's a sweetener, but the moment you have something sweet in your mouth, you tend to want more. And so this way, if you're constantly having these little desserts and coffees with sweeteners, you kind of just keep wanting more of that sweet taste. So just be careful. I am from the UK. So I'm over here in the United Kingdom, even though I'm American. So that's why I have a American accent for being in the UK. So yeah, going forward, no, I am a little further up. I'm not in London. I am in Robin Hood country. So I'm in Nottinghamshire. So a little further up. So it's not as diverse when it comes to food as well. It's a bit difficult to find certain foods that you get, like if you were in London. So choices can be a bit more difficult. But when you're looking again at ingredients, you just got to be careful with what is in there. Oh, you're from Turkey. Oh, welcome. So that really is the main gist of working with labels. The more you look at them, and again, this is key. This really is key, because there are times where we look at labels, not just how many carbs and how many fats and how many proteins there are per serving, but the actual ingredients. And I literally, I can't tell you how many times I've taken something, I've looked at the list of ingredients and have put it back because I don't want to have that in my body. What you accept as far as your keto plan. So if you're all right with maltodextrin, or if you're all right with dextrose, and sometimes that's the only sweetener that's out there, or what you want is made with it, that's up to you to make the choice. I am talking about nutrition labels. So when you go to the store and you buy, let's say you're buying some groceries, and you're looking at the nutrition labels and the ingredients to make healthier choices. That's what I'm talking about. So there are some ingredients in the list of ingredients that are not good for your body if you're on keto. Things like hidden sugars, like they call them dextrose or maltodextrose or maltitol. Those are the big ones, or the aspartame or aspartame, whichever way you say it, depending on where you live. And also things like ammonia citrate and nitrates to preserve food that lives on shelves for a long time. So when you're shopping, you see the list of ingredients, read the list of ingredients, and then you can decide, do I want to put that in my body, or would I rather have something fresh? So the choices, of course, are when it comes to things like meat and meat products. My husband and I were just talking about that. We want to just start going to butchers, right? Yeah, we just want to start going to the butchers rather than buying pre-made, pre-packaged things that have nitrates and preservatives, because we just don't want to have that in our bodies. Sometimes that's the only choice you've got, but I'd rather have that happen once in a while rather than every day. And then, of course, again, making sure that I'm paying attention to the serving size. Oh, I am not a football fan, so I'm sorry. I am not a football fan. I am more a basketball fan. I think you might have to go look for a football chat, because I'm not talking about that today, because I'm not a football fan. American football, yes. British football, or football from elsewhere, actually not. Although I know who Arsenal is. So, but that really is the main information when it comes to to looking at your labels and your ingredients. And that was pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Anybody have any questions or anything that they want to talk about regarding the keto diet that I can answer before? Because we're going to cut this one short. It's a quick one today. So let me know. I'm going to drink my, and look, just looking at Coke Zero. Yeah, it's not good. If I were to look at this, ingredients: carbonated water, color, aspartame. That's something I choose to have every so often. Natural flavorings and sodium citrate. So it's a form of salt. And it has 0 carbs, 0 fat, 0 protein per 100 grams. And therefore, for this can, everything is 0 as well. And again, because it has sodium citrate, it has 0.02 grams of salt per 100 mils. Interesting. Very interesting. So anybody have anything that they want to say before I go off? It was really very funny yesterday. We spent over an hour talking about gravy granules. And then, so well, for us, we just decided what we're going to do instead of gravy granules is really try our best to, wherever possible, if we're making a dinner that includes something that we want gravy in, Obviously, that's going to, for us, that's going to include some meat. So we're going to buy a fattier cut of meat and really just make the gravy based off of the drippings, and just do it that way. Yesterday, again, we had, my husband and my daughter made a whole fantastic tasting. It needed no sauce whatsoever. Chicken with thyme. Was it with thyme or just rosemary? Rosemary and lemon, definitely. Was there any thyme in it? No thyme. I'm on such a Brussels sprouts kick. So it was roasted Brussels sprouts again with the chili infused olive oil. I cannot get enough of it. What else did we have? Do we have mushrooms? I don't know, but of course we had the cauliflower mash, which again, I'm going to do, well, I'm going to film my husband doing the cauliflower mash now, very soon. The other thing that I tried to do was the pulled pork in the crock pot. I'm gonna have to hold off on that, because I got started too late, so it wouldn't be done in time for dinner. Any good salmon recipes? I picked up a nice piece yesterday and looking idea for dinner. Yes. And actually, if you go and look, if you search under my videos, I have a salmon recipe already, and it is lime and cumin with chopped up cilantro, and if you are a fan of a spicy kick, also with sliced peppers, so jalapeno peppers or peppers of your choice. It is so good, and all you do is mix up cumin, lime, a smidge if you want it of a sweetener if you want it, sliced peppers, spicy peppers, so a jalapeno or something, and also a little bit, tiny little bit of minced garlic. Mix it all up, pour it over the salmon, and actually what I do is I just slice up onions and peppers, and I put it all of it on one tray, pour it all mainly on the salmon, but pour it all over, pop the entire thing in for 25 minutes on 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 to 25 minutes. It is absolutely gorgeous, and we love making it, although I haven't made it in quite a while. But yeah, that one, definitely go for that one. Try it out, let me know how it goes. Anyone else? It's been a slow week. Yesterday, I was out in the garden and I did a lot. Well, usually it would take me about 2 to 3 hours to do what I did yesterday, but because our daughter is on sort of a fitness kick, I went up to her and I said, "Come, let us work out and kill two birds with one stone, because we can make the back garden look lovely in the process, or at least start it off. It's a jungle out there." So she did, she helped me. And in 30 minutes, we got done what it would take me 3 hours to do. And we just worked on one corner, but I'll tell you, my forearms and my back, my sides, so my core, a lot of core work and a lot of arm work. Woo, they were killing me. So, Jen, if you want to skip the cilantro, or the coriander, whichever way you want to call it, I would say go for parsley, maybe some chopped parsley. Mix it in. Actually, you know what? The original recipe that I had seen, that I based this one on, had chopped parsley. So if you like parsley and you're a fan of parsley, go for that. But for us, we just like everything with cilantro. So, but yeah, the spicy, oh, nice. I leave the seeds in because we just like a big kick. So, anybody have anything else before I close? Babe, anything else? Did I miss anything? No. He's just playing games until I finish. Right. Okay. Yeah, coriander seed and ground coriander seed, it tastes so different to actual coriander or cilantro. So I can definitely understand that. So I'm glad you have parsley. Go forth. Oh, I'll tell you, you're gonna love it. It's just beautiful. It just the lime and the cumin just make the salmon just really just pop. Um, and it keeps it so nice and flavorful and does not dry out. But literally all you need, 25 minutes, boom, done. So go for it. And just be careful so that if you do chop up some and slice up, because you can make them, you can make just chopped, rough chopped vegetables, or you can slice them. So almost a fajita-ish type. But if you do, again, if you're using peppers and if you're using roast, like bell peppers, and if you're using onions, remember that cooking them caramelizes them, so they get sweeter. So be careful with the amount that you use, because the carb count will be higher because they are actually sweeter once they're cooked. When they're raw, the carb count is less. So don't go overboard on those two. Or if you have something something else to add on to it, like if you want to do Brussels sprouts, or if you want to do radishes, baked radishes are nice, but baked radishes take at least 45 minutes to an hour. So that might not be so helpful unless you start them off earlier. Mushrooms, of course, asparagus, of course, and both mushrooms and asparagus are they're your best keto friends, along with spinach or kale. So you might want to even make some kale in the oven and make some crispy kale if you have it. That's really nice. It would go nicely with the salmon. Okay, well, then that will be it for us today. I hope this was informative. Let me know. Go into your cupboards, your pantry, or the store. Look at those nutrition labels. Look at the list of ingredients. Let me know what you find. What are you finding that surprises you? And comment below, because again, I always go back and check comments. Let me know what you find that absolutely shocks you, and we'll we if you have any questions, of course, I can answer those questions as well. So if no one has any further questions, then I'll close this for today, and I say to you, until next time, have a fantastic keto journey. And until the next time I see you, I say foodie bye. So foodie bye, YouTube, foodie bye, Facebook. And I'm going to get closer because, again, it's time to pop things off. Yay. Bye, Facebook.